Welcome back to the Spotlight. Thank you for staying with us. My name is Levi Corners. We're discussing tonight about alcohol and the effects of alcohol on you and me, of course. Those of us that have chosen to take this as something that we can indulge in, especially when we are watching our favorite pastimes. Football being one of them, taking center stage right now. We've just come from a weekend when the quarterfinals have just been played, the semis are yet to be played, the finals will be played, and people are taking to excessive indulgence, especially on alcohol. And we're also talking about other drugs, of course. And with us is a gentleman who has seen it all. 27 years, he himself was addicted to alcohol. The last 15 or so years, he has been talking to people and telling them about alcoholism and just the effects of what this can do to you. His name is David Ogot. He is from the GoingHome.com Trust. David, when we took the break, you are saying that that we question the ingredients of so many things.
Yes.
But we don't question the ingredients.
No, we question everything we put in our mouths, except alcohol and other drugs. Somebody just comes and tells you, just Ebu taste this or puff. And that is the only thing we don't question. If I took you to a Chinese restaurant right now, or Korean, or Japanese, or Indian, and offered you some food, you'd ask me, what is this? You wouldn't just say, trust me, and you'd say no. And in many instances, I would recommend, and you'd say no. No, it doesn't look, yeah. But if it was alcohol I'm giving you, and we don't find out what is the effect, and then you're sitting with Mzinga, and you're not asking yourself, all these messages against ethanol, excessive, what does it do to me? Nobody wants to find out. And I was one of those people. I would drink. So and it's taken to be very manly.
There seems to be a lot of information about what alcohol does, and yet people are still, indulging.
It is how the information is put. How do you pass this information? I always say one thing. Human beings always want to know what's in it for me. What's in it for me? So that at the end of the day, I always give the example of some time when the bans were coming on public smoking. And we were saying there were some people called in to a talk show. And they're saying, we don't see what the problem is. We are dropping our kids to school. My husband is driving. He's the one smoking, but all the windows are rolled up. So who is he hurting? Now, this lady is not aware that the kids there are smoking. She is smoking, because the windows, it's even better than they roll down the windows. But once you show somebody what's in it for me, okay? Number two, we don't want an us versus them issue. The Bible says one thing about alcohol. The Quran says a totally opposite thing about alcohol and other drugs. Okay? Now, what we are saying, in Kenya, alcohol is a legal product. In Saudi Arabia or some other countries like that, it is not available, easily available. So while it is available here, until we ban it, let's deal with it being available. We want everybody, and by everybody I mean an adult, whether you're a brewer, pastor, and I've said this before, brewer, pastor, distiller, bar owner, or whatever, to gang up against underage drinking. And there's very good biological reasons for that. In fact, the drinking age is supposed to be minimum 21. And all these things we don't have to experiment. The West and other places tried Nini and came up with this. We don't have to whatever. In our culture, alcohol was there. Bangi was there. In our culture, why weren't we having problems with it until the white man came?
We had no cars.
Yeah? Pardon?
I said we had no cars.
No. There was a way, which, again, education, which is what you asked. Who drinks, how it should be brewed, who brews, when it should be consumed, who should consume, and how it should be consumed. All these have gone down. And I keep saying again, in my time, I could not walk into a bar. The nearest adult would slap me and ask me, what are you looking for? Today, kids walk into bars in uniform and are sold alcohol. Wine shops, you are not supposed to drink there.
True.
These are the different categories for the availability of alcohol. But you find wine shops are there and they put stools. I was talking to a client a day or two ago who was talking about this guy goes to there's a wine shop which opens there at 6. But half of them are open by 5:30, 6 actually opening late. And you see guys in suits like you going and chappering his one glass quickly, flash, and he's on his way to work, etc.
The real mark of addiction. So,
Yeah.
for the viewer watching who drinks, who considers himself a social drinker, how do I know when I'm stepping the line between social drinking and just irresponsible drinking?
Let's leave the responsible, irresponsible. It's either social or you've started going into abuse, misuse, or abuse, or you are in addiction.
What would you say to someone and tell them, look, if you are behaving like this, like this, like this, like this, check yourself? What would be the signs you'd like to point out?
The social drinking is where you can take it or leave it. It's not an issue. But when you are planning around alcohol, I'm called to 2 parties. I'll pick Levis because there's always a lot of pombe. These parties, there's very little pombe, or it finishes, or in a Pimwa. You see, when you start taking your car to the car wash where there's wine and spirit in there and some tables you can sit, or when you are going, you are taking your wife, you are telling her, sweetheart, let me take you to the hairdresser today. You always volunteer because next door, in other words, when it's not a take it or leave it. Social drinking, you walk in, there's all manner of beverages, including alcohol. Somebody asks you, what are you having? Give me a beer.
When the things around you.
Yes.
I should tell you, like
Yes.
like from personal experience. In fact, yeah, at some point I ended up in a rehab. And before that, one of the things I had now in retrospect when I was there, looking back, what I noticed was I had a group of friends who hung out with me every Friday. And then it dawned on me, and this is now much later, that the only thing that we had in common was a drink.
Was the alcohol.
In fact,
Yes.
when we removed the alcohol out of the equation, we stopped being friends.
Yes.
We now had nothing.
It was only the alcohol.
It was awkward.
Yes.
To have a discussion,
Yes.
but sometimes you don't realize that alcohol is such a part of your company
Yes.
until you try. And sometimes I tell people, to really test if alcohol is not a problem, hang out with your friends one Saturday with no booze.
Yes. Can you go to this function
Mkunywe maji na
and
chai.
enjoy yourself?
Yes, and see whether
And
you
there's
have
no
fun,
And there's no alcohol. And then people say, and again, even when I was in rehab, that what will I do? All my friends drink. Who will I sit with? All the deals I do. And that is when I learned, as you are saying, that these are not your friends. These are your drinking acquaintances. Remove the common denominator. Actually, you'll have nothing to say to each other. And it is the alcohol. So once you need, as I said, a drink to be social, you are in a social gathering, you cannot be comfortable without alcohol. Then you are drinking now is no longer social. It's basically that simple. If somebody asks you, just casually, not because you are drunk or anything, but just casually, or do you find yourself asking anybody, do you think I drink too much? There is a sign of a problem. Because social drinking is where I meet you at a function, you're having a beer or a glass of wine or whatever, and I say, Levi, you drink? You say, yes. But I've known you for 10 years. I've never seen you with alcohol. We've been to so many functions and you were drinking soda or whatever. Said, but those functions I didn't feel like drinking. That is a social drinker. The guy who even buys the alcohol, he's going to leave, he was waiting for somebody, the person comes, he goes. He's paid for it, he's drunk like 2 sips, he's 3/4 full, he leaves it. It's neither here nor there. He's halfway through a bottle of beer, he says, no, get me a glass of juice. It's not an issue. it's not an issue.
It's not a must-have right now thing.
Yeah, I can take it, leave it. My thinking does not revolve around it. My planning does not revolve
So
around
if you
it.
notice that that's what, then
Yeah,
then
just
for sure,
check your
crossed the line.
activities. Is alcohol always present? Do you plan in a way it's present? If you know you are going somewhere to a wedding, something, do you pass fast for a few drinks with friends before you go etc.? That has now passed social. Social is take it or leave it. It's there, it's not. The alcohol is not the issue. The event you are going to do, the gathering is the issue. The alcohol is just part, can be there, cannot be there, doesn't matter. And once it starts mattering, that is a problem.
yeah, that's a very, very, clear way of...
And definite, if you are taking more than 2 Tuskers or any beer, 2 glasses of wine, 2 tots, in more than a 24-hour period, you already have a problem. It's that simple. So just look around you.
So more than
all
2...
of you sitting with Mzingas, and what you're drinking your share like for 5 months in one sitting. Actually, more than 5 months. I'm doing like 750 ml in one sitting. You see, and go stand at a wine shop. People come and drink quarters, then leave with another quarter for another place, then go for another quarter somewhere else.
Yeah, you know what they say, 4 quarters makes 1.
Yeah. And then when you reach
That's a full
home,
one
there's the
now.
one you are summarizing. That's actually a liter you have swallowed, and then depending on the strength.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that is not, and you see, you are injuring all your organs. And you see, alcohol affects, like all drugs, affect people differently. So look at the violence in World Cup. I was telling you, reporters are complaining at the World, and I saw
Of the
one
sexual harassment.
Yeah, one of our own reporters. I think I'm not sure which station was doing a live link from Russia. And the very obviously drunk fellow she was interviewing said, "And you're beautiful." But there's been a problem because people fondling the female reporters because they know you're on a live broadcast. So you're not going to react by slapping somebody or whatever. So they're there busy fondling you and making you very uncomfortable. Just the female reporters. Look at the hooliganism which breaks out. All of there's already even a problem in Russia. It is drunk fans. You don't get this from sober fans. And then look, even here, we've had cases of people betting, losing the bet, killing themselves, stabbing somebody. Where were they?
Oh, that's a whole
watching?
other topic, the betting.
Yeah. Where were they? And they were drinking. They were drinking. Where were they? Then we've been hearing all these cases of depression. How much of that is connected with alcohol and other drugs, but chiefly alcohol?
Yeah, I hear you. Very good questions. And
violence, depression,
really,
suicide. This is my own suicide attempt here, and not one, but this was the most serious one. So it is connected to so many things, apart from just the normal, we say, road crashes. How much of the violence, domestic and otherwise,
is attributed to this?
Yes.
I hear what you're
definitely.
saying. Unfortunately, David, our time always runs out, but we have to talk about this again and again. But let me ask you, if somebody would take out something from this program, in just the last minute, what would you tell them? What did you tell them?
Right now, there. It's essentially you. At the end, the government has no program to help you. The government actually is you. Okay? So it is you whose organs are going. You look at your own drinking or your spouse's drinking or your relatives drinking or your friends drinking. Get the correct information. What is this I'm putting in my mouth or they're putting in their mouth? What are its effects? How do I notice this? You see, me, I'm doing this, but many guys will laugh, many are high, etc. But remember, for every recovering addict you see like myself, there are 9 buried whose people didn't know that it's a disease and that there's a way out. So when I'm sitting here, I'm representing 9 angels because I believe, and scientifically, all addicts go to heaven. So
Right.
it's for you to check.
I hear what you're saying. Thank you so much for talking to us, David.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have taken something from that program, and we will be trying to endeavor to talk more and more about matters to do with alcohol and drug abuse in an endeavor to make sure that less and less of the people that are in our country, and especially young people, fall, prey to this vice. God bless you. Good night. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'm Levi Kones, right here with David Ogot. See you next Monday, God willing.